So let's take a moment, wherever you are, to be exactly where you are. Let's take a breath and let it all out. No matter the circumstances, whether you are overjoyed or maybe find yourself a little disappointed, be there and accept that it is as it is. Light workers, empaths, healers, vibrational masters, spiritual workers, rainbow warriors, earth angels, 5D shifters, channels of all light frequencies. Welcome. I'm Kristen, and this is the Kristen O Show. So many moons ago, I came to know a voice. And this voice is a loving presence and is now my best friend. So I am in service to Source, and I work with this voice every day. So when this voice says, hey, guess what? You're going to be doing a show. I'm like, really? That wasn't really something I was planning on doing. But here I am with you working with Source. And I'm very excited to be here. So thank you so much for joining me today. So I'm very excited about our show. I have my notes. I am going to be interviewing America's most loved medium. Let me tell you a little about him. Joseph LoBrutto is highly regarded as being one of the top mediums in the country and is a truly loving bridge to the departed. Known for his warm heart and humility, Joseph has helped countless people who are grieving the loss of their loved ones by delivering validating messages of love, hope, and joy from our departed loved ones. Recognized as the real deal, he has received a number of awards and is listed as one of the top 100 psychics in America. Joseph has been interviewed on NBC and ABC television, along with numerous radio shows and cited in articles in major newspapers and magazines. And he happens to be one of my dearest friends. But I want to get to know the man behind the medium. I want to know the other stuff. So let's go ahead. Oh, wait, before I bring Joseph on, let me tell you a couple things that are coming up in this show. We're going to be doing some readings. So that's awesome. We have about 5 people or 6 people, 8 people. I don't know how many people back there. And they're going to be their guests on the show. So they're going to be getting readings from me and Joseph. We're going to do our best to fit everyone in, but we may run a little bit over. So just bear with us on fitting everyone in. We're going to be talking about some fringe fun because me and Joseph have an alien story that's together. He doesn't know this. Maybe he does, but we're going to talk about aliens just for a few minutes. Questions in the chat. So y'all, if you have any questions, if you need something answered, if it's something pressing or something weighing on you, we are live, so we do have people monitoring questions and comments in the back, and they'll be brought to our attention. So if you have any questions, go ahead and just put it in and let us know. Okay, we're going to talk about Rainbow Warrior World News. Now, I'm going to talk about this real quick because my sister was making fun of me. She's like, "You're a Rainbow Warrior? Really? Like Rainbow Bright? Yay." And then even Joseph had to Google Rainbow Warriors and was like, "Kristen, I don't know what this is." So I realize not everyone knows this, but it's a prophecy by the Native Americans, by all of the Native American cultures together have a Rainbow Warrior prophecy. So I'll be talking a little about that. So at least you guys know that I'm not taking up Rainbow Bright's job. There's a thing. It's a thing. Okay. Presence practice. So presence practice is very important. That's our healing portion. So during our week, we want to make sure that we're in our right vibration pattern, that we're able to maintain our vibrations. And so we're going to talk about that because that's super important to get us through our weeks. Actually, probably more important than anything else we're doing or talking about. And then the fun, this is fun for me, I guess. It's called Bedtime Stories with Spirit. And the story is called In Honor of Mom. because my mother is in town, and I have some really great stories of her talking to her guides and talking to her spirits. And, you know, I was raised in a pretty open household like that, so it was pretty regular for her to be like, I'm going to speak to my guides outside. Don't talk to me. She'd go out back with the door closed, and I'm watching her talk to these people. I'm like, what is this lady doing? There's no one out there. I'd be like, do you see anyone out there? There's no one there. But she was talking, and I tell you, she's always making things happen. She's like a guru or something. So I have a little story about her. I'm going to do these little stories every time so y'all can get to know me just a little bit better. Okay, it's Joseph's time. Without further ado, let's find the man behind the medium and one of my closest friends, Joseph LoBrutto.
Hi, Kristen.
There you are.
Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome, Joseph. And thank you for dressing up for me.
Oh, you're so welcome.
I'm going to try to get everyone to dress up.
All dressed up.
What?
It was too hot for a suit. So
but you look so cute in this suit.
You got my silk dress shirt.
It's nice. I like the dress shirt, and I love, what is that around your neck?
Oh, you know, I got this in Brazil when I went to go see John of God. It's coconut shell, and it has to do with the ascension. There's the dove and 3 crosses underneath. And it was channeled to a little girl, 5 years old, came up to me in a shop, and she looked at me and she says, you're American, aren't you? And I said, yeah. She said, I got the perfect gift for you. And then she pointed this out and she says, Jesus tells you have to wear this. I looked at her mother and I said, you got a nice little salesperson here. And then she says, no, Senor, if she tells you something, it's a message from God. And that was the message from God, was I needed to wear this necklace, and I bought it in Brazil.
You know what? I just had chills all over my body. And you know that's how spirit validates things, right?
Uh-huh.
I can't ever hold a shave because it's like I got all these, you know, that's making my hair grow on my legs. Okay, Joseph. I have some great questions for you, and I'm really, really excited about them. I wrote these questions because they're things I want to know about you. Okay? So the
Which
first
you don't
one,
know already? Okay.
Nah, I want to know, you know, sometimes you don't, in the past, okay, so how long have we known each other? We kind of figured this out the other day, didn't we?
About a little over 6-7 years, about 7 years.
About a while. And before we get started on your questions, I want to let everyone know the only reason why I'm here right now is that guy right there. He has just stayed believing in me. He's like, Kristen, you got this. You can do this. Develop your mediumship abilities. Come with me. Come and do workshops. Travel with me. And he's just been my number one supporter. He came to when I was running a church event where I was, like the minister of the church for the day. That was pretty amazing. I ran a church service for an hour, and he was there supporting me, taking pictures. And he's the reason why I'm doing this show right now, because he calls me up and says, Kristen, let's do a show together on Wednesdays at 8. So everyone, Wednesdays at 8 o'clock, me and Joseph do readings the entire time. So my show's a little more about interviewing and pulling out weird metaphysical topics. His is just straight reading, and I'll be there every time. So between connecting with your loved ones or figuring out what kind of stuff's in your personal life, my messages tend to be kind of personal, Joseph. They're like pulling up personal things. And so at some point, I'm just going to have to start being honest about it. I've been kind of sheltering that information, but I'm growing a little more courage. So,
all right, here we go.
Okay, Joseph, when did you first notice that you had these gifts? If you could go back.
Well, I have to go back when I was a child, probably about 5 years old. That's when I first saw spirit, but I didn't know they were spirit. I thought they were regular people coming in and out of my bedroom. I remember laughing and talking to them. When my grandmother died, I was about 9 years old at the time, almost 10. Got to go to her funeral, got to see her put in a coffin and into the ground. But a few days later, as I was walking into my room, she was sitting on the bed, looking at me, smiling. Now I realized I was seeing a ghost, and I realized all these beings were ghosts. I remember running out of the room screaming, but I can hear her voice in the back say, Joey, I just wanted to say I love you and goodbye. But I slept with the lights on and my head underneath the covers for the longest time. I didn't want to hear, feel anything anymore. It wasn't until my mid-20s when this all started to happen. I remember it was my ex-wife and I. We were watching television out on a limb with Shirley MacLaine. And she's an entertainer, and during this movie she was in, she went to Europe to meet a channel. This guy blindfolded himself. He was in the kitchen channeling this spirit guide, making hot tea for her, telling her about her life, everything that happened in her past, what's going to happen in her future. And I remember telling my ex-wife at the time, saying, wow, I want to learn how to do that. Long story short, Marilyn Raphael here in Palm Beach County took me under my wing. I probably was like 22, 23 years old at the time. And she was grooming me. She started grooming me to become a channel. And I started to channel my collective, my guides. But then as I was channeling my guides, loved ones started to speak through me. But before that happened, my cousin, Joe, passed away, Joey. And I went to his funeral. After his funeral, I was sitting at a red light, and there he was sitting at the passenger side of my car, and he wanted to talk to his wife. I thought I was going crazy. Finally, I gave her the message she needed to hear. He opened up heaven's gates for me, and then I started hearing loved ones, and I started channeling the loved ones through my spirit guides. John Edwards came on TV about this time, and I was watching platform mediumship for the first time. I had no idea what platform mediumship was until I saw John Edwards. So I said, okay, I got to take this blindfold off, because I used to channel blindfold. I said, I got to stand there in front of people and start to read people. I got to practice how to do that. So I took the blindfold off, and I remember, before I took the blindfold off, I remember peeking through, looking at the audience. I remember my ex-wife looking at me and shaking her head. I said, I got to take this off. I'm hiding behind it.
Take it off.
Then I took it off. I started practicing. I started having small groups in my house, maybe 5, 6 people. It grew to 75 to 100 people coming to my house. And I decided to do this part-time until 2010. I went full-time in 2010 and been doing this for over 10 years, full-time now.
That's awesome. So Joseph, what I find interesting is you said you have this collective, the guides that you were in communication with. And then they brought the spirits through. And how did you develop this two-way communication with them? Because they put these images in your head, like images of baseballs and images of farms and images of woodpeckers, roadrunners. I don't know if anyone caught the last show, but he's like, why am I seeing roadrunners? I don't understand. And she's like, oh, my grandmother collected roadrunners. Like, come on.
Well,
you know?
I always teach.
How did you do it? Did they just all of a sudden start popping things into your mind? And
yeah, what happened is I always tell me, anybody who wants to develop mediumship abilities, I advise them to become a strong channel first. Get to know your guides, have your communication with your guides, because you develop a language and symbols, like baseball and football teams. That's when I know. When I see the Red Sox, okay, you're from Massachusetts. When I see the Dolphins, you're from Miami. When I see Jets, either New Jersey or New York, you're right on that border. And that's how they train me, because I know baseball and football where the teams are. So that's how I tick. And then I start to see, then after you get a rapport, it's claircognizance. It's just a knowing, and all this stuff that's come. Like I saw a Roadrunner run. I saw the Roadrunner cartoon for that reading last week. I saw the Roadrunner run across beep beep, and I said, okay, what's this with the Roadrunner? Or I think Woody the Woodpecker.
And I've seen these visions too, because when my guides talk to me, they send me visions, the same. So what's interesting though is like when I talk to my guides, I have to like go somewhere. And the spirits are like, hey, I'm like, whoa, hey, hi. They're like right there, like so close, Joseph. What does that mean? Do you know what that means? Like, are they like a vibration pattern that's closer to us than our guides are? Or what is that?
You have to look at levels. My palm of my hand is Earth, okay? Heaven is just a shadow of Earth. This is where our loved ones are. The spirit guides, archangels, they're up here. So if we learn to communicate to up here and communicate with our guides, just lowering our vibrations to the heavenly realm is so easy, because you're passing the heavenly realms up here. So once you learn to communicate with guides and angels, hearing the loved ones are so easy.
Yeah. So just recently, because every time I get around you, spirits like to talk to me. They like to be like, hey, he's busy right now, so I'm going to talk to you. And I'm like, ah. And I felt what I saw, Joseph, was like, I saw a gate. I really did. It was a gate. And there were so many people behind it. And then I got scared and ran in my head. I did.
Your main guide is the gatekeeper. And the
Oh,
gatekeeper is the one who opens those gates. It brings new guides in or can bring loved ones in. So what you're seeing
oh.
is the gate to open up.
So I
Now
gotta
you can
talk to the
control.
gatekeeper and be like, I'm not gonna run a race scared. I can
Exactly.
handle this.
Yep. And then ask them to bring one at a time, so you're not
One at a time.
overwhelmed.
There were so many. I was like, ah.
Yeah, one at a time. That's all. I clear things up. Like when we do our show on Wednesday, we have like 30 people in the
Mhm.
thing. I have to focus on the person I'm reading because I could hear the other people in the background. Or if I'm in a group of 100 to 200 people in the audience, I have to zone into that one person and I have to put everybody else on hold. So I'm
It
not
was
going to the
noisy,
million
Joseph, back
places.
there. It was like I'm at a concert or I'm at like a Black Friday event or something. It was very
So you have to
busy.
train yourself to hone into that one voice. It's like being in a concert hall. Everyone's talking, and you're trying to hone in on the one voice 4 rows up, and just listen to that one voice and drowning out all the other voices. That's what you have to do.
All right, so then we're going to bring on a reading. I want to bring on a couple readings right now, and then we're going to go back and ask a couple more questions.
Sure.
So let's go ahead and bring our first guest on. I don't know who it's going to be. Debbie gets to pick. I'm so sorry, I can't read it. Is that Sarah?
Yeah, Sarah.
Yes.
Hi, Sarah. Welcome. Thank you for coming on. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being a guest.
Sarah kind of fits into that last question you answered. How do I hear with a big audience? And I believe this is Sarah with her sisters and her mom at Renegades. And there were over 100 people there. And I had to hone into your father or on their voice and drown everyone out. So she's a perfect example because she was in a big crowd.
And what happened, Sarah? So you got to speak with your father?
I did a couple times. He's very persistent. The last time I was watching from Facebook and the Zoom meeting was on and I was just, watching from Facebook. I wasn't going to, join in just because I'm so interested. I love to watch it. And all of a sudden Joseph started talking about Pennsylvania and the farms and the horses and then the J name. And I'm like, oh my God. And then he said, are you in the acreage? I'm like, oh no, I wonder if just because I'm watching it on Facebook, is he coming through?
Mm-hmm.
Aw, that's awesome. I'm glad you got that experience. So it was Zoom, but wait, did you meet at Renegades too or just at the Zoom? You met both?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Renegades, I was there too.
Aw, that's awesome.
I won't call you a groupie, but
oh, we love our groupies. Our groupies keep us loved. We love our groupies.
Yeah. I love Sarah's mom.
Thank you for supporting us, Sarah. We appreciate it. So, Joseph, since you guys have read for her a couple times, do you want to do a reading or?
Do you want to take this one, Kristen? Since you haven't never read
what do you
for
think?
her.
You want me to take it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Okay, take a breath for me. Do you have any specific questions or a general reading? If you have a specific question, you don't have to tell me what it is. I'm just wondering if you have it.
Yeah, I want to know about my career.
Okay, that's all. Not that the cards always listen. She wants to know about her career, and they're like, well, we're gonna pull the most important thing that she needs to hear about right now. That's usually what they do. So,
okay.
Now I've explained this a couple times before, but I'll explain it again to people who are listening. The cards pull for your energetic energy, aura, as it is at this exact moment. So whatever energy streams you have coming in and surrounding you at work, at your personal life, with your friends and family, those are all energetic streams that mix into this beautiful thing that a lot of people can see. And that's where the cards pull from. So sometimes it'll pull hey, there's an unhealthy situation. And it's pretty amazing because that's a cord that's connected to you. So what's important for us to do is figure out where those situations are in our lives, which can be an energy drain, and cut those cords. Mm-hmm. All right. All right, Sarah. Let's see. Okay, so not sure whether you want me to read it for work related or not. I'll read the cards. I do see some relationship stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you want me to talk about it or not, but
go on. It's okay.
oh, there's a lot of relationship stuff.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah, you pulled all the love cards, but with some obstacles and challenges there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well let's do the second one. Let's go to the first one first. Okay, so I'm just gonna read them. It is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so healing. So awareness means that you're aware that you need a healing, or it's a process of healing. You're in a process of healing, but my feeling is that you're aware that this needs to happen, and you're aware of that. I don't know if it's something that you've been avoiding. Sorry, I have my bird is somewhere under my table doing something funny, but okay. Okay, so I see that what happens is with compromise is a lot of times you're with someone or in a circumstance or an environment where the person is not budging. There's just no, this is the way it is. This is my way. There's nothing you can say or do to change that. And why that can be so frustrating to us is because we don't feel heard. And we're trying and trying and trying and trying and trying, and there's nothing that can be done because the person's just like, no. And I don't know, it could be at work. Could be something along at work. Hold on, I've got to get my bird, guys. Give me 1 second. He is literally scaling the top of this cage, the top of this table. Come here, baby. Come here. What are you doing? Come here, Mama. Okay, come here. We're working on. She's going to be doing readings with me, and we're working on it.
Yeah.
She's working on it. Okay. Now, after the compromise, what's interesting is I do see that there is a energy, that's what I call it. It is a male energy that I would call this a very positive male energy that's in your life. Someone who you'd consider someone you can look up to, someone that is very spiritual, someone that's enlightened, someone who's kind, someone who's loving. I don't know if that's someone that you met in the past, because I do have some stuff going on in your past. So I have some situations that have happened to you that you're reliving and that you're kind of going over, and you can't make peace with, and you can't understand it. You can't figure out why it happened. And a lot of times when this happens, we try to live our lives clear of that energy, but we have those cords that I was telling you about. And when our mind keeps going back there and revisiting and reliving, it affects how we view and see our present world right now. And that can really damage some of the choices that we make and really our mental, well-being. I see also another male presence. This to me feels like a different male presence. So this is more of, and again, this could be you, it could be work related, but this particular card is a very bold, strong male presence. Very, very strong, kind of like a rebel. And I don't want to call it negative, but just bold and like, this is the way it is. I'm going to break these chains. You're not going to make me conform. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to run my own way. And it's like, well, sometimes your way is like, can be a lot. And it's like, I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. So you have that kind of presence in your life. Do you know or where that's headed? Where that's going in your life?
That could be either that could be my boss. That could be.
It could be. It's someone that when you're with them, you feel, it can feel very frustrating actually to be around someone with this energy, because they just don't care about anyone else. They just really it's about them. It's the them show. Yeah. So
it's their world and I live in it. Correct.
Now, I don't know, but it's very different from this guy. So I don't know who this guy is, but this guy's very different from that guy. So I'm going to let you put him. Do you know of who I'm talking about with this kind of spiritual, kind, loving? He's in there somewhere. So I don't know if this is what you want. This guy, when I pull him because I want to date him. So I like this guy. So if you haven't met him yet, I want you to keep your eyes out for him because it's going to be like a nice guy. And it could just be a friend. It could just be someone in a different department. It could be an energy you need to find, but you're going to recognize this person when you see him because he's going to have a very different energy than this guy. And they pulled right next to each other. So it's like, this guy is not this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. A couple other things. Okay, so, and again, I pull this for a relationship. So I don't know if this is a relationship card or if this is just something going on with you at work. But basically, we have two people kind of staring at each other and we're smiling and we're putting on a happy face and we're getting along, but it's really not real. Behind it all, neither one of us like each other. We're really, yeah, neither one of us like each other much.
100% my
Is that
my
your bond?
issues.
Yeah. Okay, so it's true. It's valid. This is a, yeah. Okay. Now, there's a bit of advice coming here. This is the advice card. It's not easy to do. It's not easy, but it's simple. So I'd like you to consider not making a thing out of it anymore. Not make a thing. Don't make a thing where there doesn't need to be a thing. Like, this person did this and I'm going to make a thing about it. And then this happened and I'm going to make a thing about it. And this happened, I'm going to make a thing about it. Something at home, I'm going to make a thing about it. The best thing that we can do is just to not make anything. So this is called no thingness. And I remind myself constantly, like, sure, I could be a jerk right now, or sure, I could say something, rude or feel rude or call or complain or something, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to make no thing. And I just said, call it no thing. Nope, no thing, no thing, no thing, no thing. It really helps to rebalance my energy because otherwise I'm constantly affected by it. So this will give you your power back to not overly stress yourself out.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And consciousness, that's where it ends my card. Do you have a relationship presently?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I can see that there's some love here. There's a little bit of obstacles and challenges coming. There's a little bit of, disruption. So there's some, physical health, spiritual health, and mental health are all very important, and they're all equally important. So when we're out of balance, meaning that I have one and not the other, we tend to get out of balance. So this is a little bit of an out of balance situation. But I do see that it's love. I see that there's patience. I see triumphant success, fulfillment of wishes, and love, but I see some obstacles, challenges, and there's some disruption there that you're going to want to keep your eye on, okay?
Okay.
Did that make sense too?
It does.
Yeah. All right, perfect. Okay, awesome. Joseph, is there anything you want to add, or are we good?
No, you got it.
You're good? All right. I'm going to take my little bird off and put her back where she belongs. She escaped from her cage. So I'm going to let you guys take it back for a second while I put, hey, you guys go back to your cage. I love you. Yeah, I love you. You can't eat my dress.
She's taking off. So,
Yeah.
Jill is your aunt, isn't she?
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I thought Jill might be your aunt. Did she see me? She saw me before too.
I think she hasn't seen you in person, but she's been on like the Wednesday night shows.
She's been on the Wednesday night. Okay. I kind of put the connection with your mom on there. So, okay. It's good to see you again.
Good to
Thank
see
you.
you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming, and we hope you come back again soon and stay with us, and we'll be running some workshops and doing some fun stuff. So
Definitely.
keep
Thanks
in
for
touch.
having me.
You're welcome. Mwah. Bye.
All right. So what questions do you have for me?
Oh, I got it. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So I want to know how your family, what has been your effect with the family and how they've responded? Because if your family doesn't do what you do, they might think you're crazy. I'm just throwing that out there. Friends and relationships, right? Because I have my friends, everyone's kind of seeing what I'm doing right now, and I'm getting mixed feedback.
Okay. Well, with family, my mother's my biggest cheerleader, so to say, because it's on her side. I'm Sicilian. I'm also Puerto Rican. And on the Puerto Rican side, I have generations of psychic mediums and healers. And when I take my mom anywhere, it says, my son, he's a medium, he's a psychic. And she's just,
Oh, that's
I
nice
remember,
to have.
I remember my father coming out. He wasn't sure about me doing this. He thought, when he came to my first gallery in 2008, he thought I was going to be wearing all these robes with a turban on my head. And then he saw me. He saw me just
funny.
I was dressed in black, and I was up there, and I was doing readings and stuff. And it was 2 shows, and there was a lunch break. And during the lunch break, it was a Subway next door from this New Age store in Royal Palm. And he was listening. People didn't know he was my father, and everybody was talking about me. And then he says, I'm proud of you, Joe.
Aww.
I said, you make people laugh, you make them cry. And if you can make money out of this, this is good.
So that's what I heard.
And then he says, you're an entertainer. I said, okay, I'm an entertainer, Dad.
Okay, good. I got that speech the other day. I did. I got it. Well, it's a good thing you're making money out of this. And I'm like, what is that? That's
the way my father looked at it. With my family, my kids, they weren't used to me growing up like this. I love New Age. I studied it, but they never saw me do this professionally. I remember my son Adam coming out one time to Renegades, and him and his wife watching me. It was a big crowd that night. And when my daughter saw me for the first time, she came with a girlfriend. And the girlfriend lost her father, and I brought her father through with a motorcycle accident, and her eyes were like big on there. Jessie used to see me when I channeled when she was a teenager, so she knew about my channeling abilities, but she never saw me do my mediumship. So, they accept for who I am, and that's it. I just do my thing with friends and stuff. It changes. Do you think
that they are maybe a little more believers? Do you think they're a little more believers now?
I talked to my daughter. Or is it not
our place for that? That's not important necessarily.
Yeah, it's like my daughter-in-law says all the time, because she has my last name. Said, oh, every time I go and give my last name, everybody says, oh, do you know Joseph LoBrutto? Said, I feel like I'm very. My father-in-law is a famous person, she says. So, but yeah, it's but it's okay. I learned to live with it. This is what I do, and this is me. I came out of the closet, so to say, to do this work, and I don't hide who I am.
I'm kind of coming out of the closet. It's like I've kept all this to myself for so long. I just never really talked about it or shared it with anyone because I was so afraid of what people would say. And I just live in my own little happy world with my guides and my spirit guides and my medium. I'm happy. Like I'm in my own little blissful, crazy world.
Well, that's it. This is what we do. And if your true friends are going to understand what you do, and they're going to accept you for who you are. And, and I have books out there written about me and my life and my personal, what I am. So, yeah. So I'm going to give
you the screen for 1 second, and I want you to tell them how to get a hold of you and your books and all that. So, Deb, if you could give him the full screen. Yay.
No, well, we got the half screen here, too. Okay.
No,
hey. There's my books behind me. I got you. Yeah, ourjourneyoflife.com is my website. That's the best way of reaching. I have all my merchandise there. Hey, I want to do a shout out for Deb here. She designed this cover. Isn't that an awesome cover? There we go. Is There More to Life? And she designed that cover. So, and I got a lot of compliments on that cover. So, Deb's doing the sound work on the show here. She's a spiritual gone wild person. So
where's Debbie? Where is she?
I want to thank you. She's in the back.
Come on, Debbie, give us a thank you. Come on, you look gorgeous. One little hi, nothing, nada.
Well, I want to thank her for making that cover for me.
Yeah, Debbie, we love her, Debbie.
So
Debbie's gonna be on the show next week. Just so you know, she's gonna come on. Okay, let's do, I have a couple other questions for you, but when we come back from readings, we're going to talk about the fringe things, a little like guides, angels, Jesus, source, aliens, not all of them all at once, but we'll touch upon it. Let's take a couple more readings. I'll let Deb pull one up.
Okay.
Hi, Christina.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Christina. How are you? It's good to see you.
Joseph is my man. And I met Kristen now. I'm hooked on Kristen, but I still love you, Joseph.
Yeah.
Joseph, so you have all your best people are showing up.
I know. I got my groupies coming up. It's
I was going to say he only hangs with the best, so that's how we got you, Kristen.
I think Christina has done the most home parties that I ever done. Have you done like 5 or 6?
Yep. Yeah, but they're so great. Everybody's so
we had
happy.
Some activity. Didn't we have some activity in your house last time, like lights or something?
No, the Google kept coming on and nobody was talking to it. So then we unplugged it and it still was going around and talking. We're like, no! I put it in the garage. It was that was crazy. The lights were spinning. We're like, it's unplugged. It was
Yeah,
good.
the lights were
my
the lights were going on
And
and the lights were
it
unplugged.
didn't even phase Joseph. He goes, that happens. And we're like, stop.
I know, that's the thing. Around Joseph, weird things happen all the time around him. I've been there for 7 years. I know weird things happen.
Oh,
Unexplained.
but he's brought
Yeah.
so many good messages through for people that it brought me peace watching them get peace. You know, it's just, I just feel like a middleman. Like he's going to get somebody happy, you know, because a lot of people lose people unexpectedly and they need that, you know, and he's done it for me. So we're all good.
So when you were able to connect with your loved ones, did that really solidify in your heart and soul and mind that they're
Absolutely.
right across the veil? Because that's just what I want everyone to know,
Yes.
and just know it like inside of your soul. So people
it's
don't
so
feel
real.
like you're losing
Yep.
because you're not losing.
It's like something's taken off your shoulders that you worry about, that the person talks to you and it's just like the person's talking to you through him. Because it is. And you know, it's and you know, my husband was very skeptical, but once he did it, he was, you gotta just,
person's not gone.
No. And that's exactly it. That brings me peace. And I said, after that, I said, you know what? Dying is not going to be bad. It's going to be cool. I mean, not that I'm going to go do nothing, but it's just how you perceive it. It brought me peace, and it brings so many others peace.
Yeah, because I mean, sometimes to seem more somber than I am about things, like, you know, you've lost someone that you love, but I have such a different perception because I know that they're just free of this world. It's just another doorstep. They've come back where we come from. They're in a great place. We're the ones kind of stuck down here dealing with stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy when they've passed away and we can talk to them. I'm very excited.
Well, because you know they're at peace. That's the whole thing. Once you accept that, and you know, you really have to be open to listening. And there was things Joseph said that I know my mother would only say. You know what I mean? So, you know, and he would look at me like, I don't know where this is coming from, and I'd be like, yep, that's her. But it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But
and you tune in every Wednesday. You get on Wednesdays too.
And you have helped so many people that, you know, I know that, you know, have lost a lot of people recently. And my cousin Robin, who I met through Ancestry, she got on like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and it has brought her, you know, I was like, yes, you know, because she needed it. She needed to hear from her dad. She needed that. And that just brought me peace. You know, we've never met. We just know we're cousins through Ancestry. So, but
that's awesome. So did Ancestry.com find you?
Well, I'm adopted. Yeah, I'm adopted, and she did her. You know, we met each other through Ancestry, and I met 5 sisters and my birth mom. So it's been like, what?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
pretty amazing. Yeah. Yep.
And try to do a reading when somebody's adopted. You know, that's
Oh my gosh, that's gotta be hard, Joseph.
You
I don't know. Joseph has come up with stuff, and I'm like, I don't know. He'll say somebody's here, and I'll be, I don't know. And then I'll go ask like a sister or something. They'll go, yes, that he was a fire chief, and I'm like, stop it. And Joseph's like, this guy's good. I'm like, I have no idea. I'll ask, and then I get out and call them, and they're like, oh, you know, our uncle was a fire chief. And I'm like, oh my God. So yeah.
Yeah, Joseph, that happens a lot after our show. For the next week, I see a lot of different comments like, oh, that, and I don't know if you see them sometimes, but oh, that comment about this pertained to my Uncle Bob. I asked my dad.
Yeah.
And then I see multiple that comment about that. And it was at the time, they're like, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm like, take notes.
Yes.
Go home and talk to your family because it's going to mean something to somebody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
okay, so since you've had a number of readings from Joseph, is it me you're looking for?
Oh, girl, it's all you. It's all you. No.
Yeah, it's all me.
No,
Okay.
Joseph. Other thing I want to know from Joseph is my birth father. He told me situations, but I just want a name because Ancestry can get exhausting. It's just.
Oh, you don't have a birth father. You don't know your birth father.
Girl, I do, but like, but I don't know his name.
That's a tough one. Joseph might have to meditate on that one a little bit.
Yeah,
I'll let you meditate on that while I'm giving you a reading.
Your next home party, Christina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I can do that. Come spring, you know.
There you go. Next home party, we'll do it.
Oh, goodness.
I'm doing smaller groups for COVID. I'm doing COVID groups now, smaller groups. So
Oh yeah.
okay.
And I might come with Joseph to the home party since why not? Right?
Why not?
That sounds fun.
It'll be
Yeah.
fun, and we serve.
Yeah, I'll bring Kristen. Kristen will hang along,
Absolutely.
That'd be great. Oh yes.
Yeah.
and she'll do readings too. Her mediumship will get better.
No, but I want to practice my mediumship, and
Yeah,
I need
that's it.
a way to practice it.
You
Because
can.
they're
use
talking to me. I'm learning. Like I hear. Yeah. Joseph makes it better. Okay, so I see some changes coming your way.
Okay.
I don't know if you're aware of that. Or what do I want to say about
As
that?
long as they're good.
You know what? Okay. Yes, they're good, but at the time, they're not going to feel that good a little bit.
Okay.
So right now, there's a little bit of instability that's been built up. So there's some instability, some rocky foundation. My feeling is it could be at home, but it's somewhere that there's some instability. The thing is that when we've built a foundation on sand, like the little piggy's house blew down. I'm not saying your house is going to blow down, but you're going to have to rebuild some stability. And in order to do that, you're going to really turn inside of yourself. So what I'm seeing is that you're actually a light worker, an empath, a healer. You have abilities. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
Yeah, I kind of freak myself out sometimes, and I don't know why that happens.
Yeah.
There's like three things that happen, and I'm like, my husband will be like, "You gonna call your brother?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And then I do, and he's like, "Why do you do that?" And I said, "I don't mean to do it. It just happens." I mean, it's been like really like I had a friend, one of my son's friends, his friend passed away, and I knew the boy, but I didn't know him. You know what I mean? I knew his parents from baseball, but he came to me in a dream, and he's like, "Please tell my mom." I'm like, "Oh no, honey, not me. You know, go find somebody else."
Like,
and it was horrible. It was. I was like, "No, I can't."
And then what do I have to say? And she's gonna be
exactly
right. I know.
But 2 days later, I had to call her and say, "Can I meet with you?"
Yeah,
and
because
I was like, I just couldn't
let it off. The spirit will stay with you. The spirit will stay with you.
Somebody, if it was me, I'd want them to tell me.
I know.
But
how did she react? Did she take it
beautiful.
Okay?
Yeah.
Oh, good. They were just so good. They were gentle with you. So what they do when they want you to begin developing your gifts is they're very gentle with you in the beginning, and they show you that you have these abilities by bringing a sweet soul to you, then having you share this with someone and having that message be received. That's their way of nurturing you and asking you to consider working in the light. So we would like to offer you a job working for the light. And resource, look, it's right here.
I got to do an application.
Yes, it's between you and your guides, 100%. They're asking you right now to please begin to develop that relationship and that communication with them. And that's something that only you can do. This is your own personal journey that you're going to go through right now. You're going to have a whole lot of other things going on around you, but this is showing that it's important for you to develop that relationship with your spirit guides right now. Now's the time. So I don't know if you want to read some books, how to develop, get some
I got all his books.
Get his books, get some cards.
Come to my workshop, Christina. Bring your husband, both of you.
Both of you.
So I see there's a couple other things. So basically, in your environment, you're in a very typical, standard environment, very mainstream Western environment, versus the weird, like fringy, metaphysical environments that I was raised in. So what happens is you're this light worker, this healer, mediumship abilities.
No, let's not do that.
The environment around you is just nowhere near able to even take on any of that kind of stuff.
Well, I'll say stuff and people will think like, "Oh, okay, she's a hippie," and I'm like, "It's who I am," and that's fine.
And that's showing. It pulled up right away that's who you are, and so I'm validating that for you. That literally you are a light worker. You need to try to find your tribe a little bit, meaning that you don't have to change everything that you have going on, or nothing like that. But I want you to find people that understand you, that feel the same way you do, that are not going to make you feel crazy because you're hearing things in your head. They're not going to tell you to go to the psych hospital. They're going to tell you to read a book by
You just don't tell them.
Correct. And I would like you to get an environment where you can talk to this about certain people. That's all. I want you to find people who are a little like you at your vibrational pattern. You'll find them. As long as you're ready, your guides are asking permission to do that. And that's, I'm going to leave that at that because I would like you to move forward in that area. You're going to need that. You're going to need that spiritual strength in the next little bit. Okay.
Yeah. I believe I know exactly what you're talking about. And I will. I'm good. It's going to be something. Yeah.
Yay.
But
perfect.
I'm that positive energy. I try, but.
Yeah, that's going to get you through all this. That's going to be your lifeline. You're going to need to hold on to source right now and turning into yourself. So this is a journey. This is a solo journey that only you can take.
Oh,
I know, but it's
there
beautiful.
A job in there anywhere?
This is a great journey. This is the best journey ever.
Is there a job? Am I doing any different jobs here? Or is my journey?
I see that you are moving on but here's what I can tell you what you're moving on from. And you put it where you need to put it. You're moving on from a shadow, darker, uncomfortable, not really flourishing environment. You're going to move on from that. I see it. You're in a little bit of a waiting game right now, and I know you're hopeful, and you're like, I want this. You need some balance. So we're out of balance a little bit. I do see you moving on. And again, I see solitude. So I see solitude and turning in pulled in both card decks, and so did patience. So it's so funny when the card decks pull the same cards. I love it. That happens. But
yeah, that's cool.
I do see you moving on. Okay, so I'm gonna let you put that where it needs to go.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Bye, Joseph. See you Wednesday.
See you Wednesday. See you Wednesday. Okay, I'm gonna do my. Oh my goodness, my time check. Joseph, are you okay to hang out a little longer with us?
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. I want to do one more reading before I ask you another question. What do you think?
Okay, it's your show. You lead.
All right, let's do one reading. I think that most of the people who've piped in know you already, Joseph, right? So I was trying to.
Yeah. Well, the two that you read, I've read many times. So.
What about Kim and Mia? Have you read for them too?
I'll know when they pop up. I'm gonna just let Debbie pick somebody, and we'll see.
All right, Debbie, pick away. Who is that? Is that a Mia?
Nope, that's Dina, right?
Dina.
It's unmute.
There we go. I think you were on last Wednesday, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah, welcome back. I recognize you.
Yeah.
So.
I was actually on last week because I have a good friend that just suddenly lost her son. So I was trying to help her connect with you.
It's hard. It's hard when somebody loses a son to go with the grieving on there. If I had to say that he was sorry, does that make sense to you, Dina, about the son passing? Was he going through some stuff?
To be honest, I don't know him well. I don't know the situation well.
Yeah, it's hard if you can't validate.
She was a friend of one of my best friends, and
yeah, because there's a lot of personal stuff I'll bring up, and if you can't validate, it'll be very hard.
Well, I'm gonna hopefully she'll be able to connect with you herself.
Have her tune in on Wednesday's show, and Kristen and I will be on every Wednesday.
And what's her name, Dina, so we can look out for it?
Her name is Lana.
Lana?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look for it Wednesday.
We'll definitely be on. I'll be on with her.
Okay.
Dina, is that why you came on, to get us to connect with him?
Well, I would like that mostly, but that's just, I tried to get her to come on tonight, but I couldn't reach her.
Oh, okay.
Who came for you last week?
Excuse me?
On last week, we read for you. Did somebody come through?
No, you didn't read for me.
Oh, we didn't. Okay,
No.
I just recognize your face being on the queue. Okay,
That's
so you
good.
just
I didn't recognize her.
Okay.
But I would like to connect with my father.
I was going to say, do you have a father who's passed? I don't need just to get out of my mouth on here.
Yes.
All right. I have a very soft-spoken person, though, coming through, Dina. And when I say soft-spoken, means he's not loud. He's kind of in the shadows a little bit and everything. Was he very sick? I just have him very sickly toward the end here. Maybe people had to do things for him. If he had to say, remember I said that somebody had to say they were sorry for some reason? Could this be your dad? No? Okay. All right.
No.
Count 1 to 5. Say your first name 3 times.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dina, Dina, Dina.
All right. The first thing I'm feeling, Dina, is somebody who maybe it's unexpected, very quick. It could be your heart on there. Didn't have a chance to say goodbye. Didn't see it coming. Is this your father?
Yes.
Okay. I had to prep myself. I didn't prep myself when I did this. So didn't have a chance to say what he needed to say to you. And I think what he needed to say is how much he loves you. And sometimes we take life for granted. We figure we're going to see each other. And we just, go day by day. And if he knew that was going to be the last time he saw you, he would have made sure he says that he loved you and everything. And he misses you. He hears you talking to him every day. And he listens all the time, he says. I'm hearing something buzzing. Did he have a hard of hearing or anything like that with him? I have a buzzing in my ear for some reason. I don't know why I have a buzzing in my ear. Is there someone in the family who was deaf or hard of hearing or anything like that? A buzzsaw. Anybody who worked with construction or anything like that?
My son is a little bit.
Is he doing any construction?
He's in, a little bit. Not physically, but he's involved in it. Yes.
So maybe this is your dad talking about your son. Was he very close to your grandson, to his grandson, to your son or at all?
They were young, but yes.
Okay. All right. He could be talking about your son because I'm hearing something about construction. Your dad, what I'm hearing from your dad, sometimes we're not ready to go, and he wishes he could accomplish more stuff before he passed. He said it was a nice send-off. He said that there was complications, something about complications, though. It could have been the timing of everything, maybe. But he said that he wished he could have been here more. And sorry that people had to hear about how he passed. I just felt like his heart just gave out on him. And he just wants to send his love to you as well. Okay, when I see a badge or something, anybody in law enforcement, police department, or anything like that as well? Okay, family member or anything, law enforcement badge. I'm seeing a badge. Anybody dating a cop or a police officer or anything?
No.
Okay. Or, all right, I don't know why I'm seeing a badge now. Okay. Bet you I'm hopping on somebody else in the queue.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're probably.
Yeah, that flashing my badge. All right, but that's what I needed to say about your dad, and I thank you for tuning in. And
Thank you.
your girlfriend about her son or your girlfriend's friend, just have her tune in on Wednesday. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then I guess you want me to do a short little thing? Yes. I don't know if we should do that. Do we have time? Probably not. How many more?
We're at 9 o'clock.
Oh, it's 9. So no, we'll cover it at that. Okay, Joseph. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Okay. Talk to me about aliens.
About aliens?
Yeah. Do you know that the aliens that I saw, which I know, I saw them, it's true, I did. They were on the back of your tarot cards.
Okay.
On the back of your tarot cards. And they spoke to me. I know, call me crazy. It is what it is. And I only say this to you because, well, to everyone who's listening, because it happened and I have to tell the truth.
Okay.
I spoke to them. Quite bizarre.
I could tell you about my alien experience. But before I do that, let me do a shout out to Kim. She says my dad was a police officer and had a heart attack. Kim, you're the one in the queue that I'm looking for. Okay. I just read the chat right there. So it's your father who wants to say, I love you. He didn't have a chance to say goodbye. He was very proud of his time in service, and he's telling him about the service and everything. About
Well, we can pop Kim in. Let's pop Kim in.
Okay, let's pop Kim in, and then we'll go to the aliens.
Kim and then aliens.
Is she in the, I don't know if she's in the room, though. She just may be on the chat. I think she's just in the chat.
Oh,
that's
not that Kim. That's a different Kim.
Yeah, no, she's just in the chat. I don't know. Oh, Debbie's doing her magic. Kim Chancellor. No?
No, I don't think. All right, well, if you can tell her, then go ahead.
That's okay. I just did a shout out, and on it. Kim has been on our show many times too. So
okay,
and I see her. Aliens.
Yes. So then we have something completely crazy because now we're both crazy. We'll jump on the crazy trust.
Yeah, well, I told you about my channeling that I do, and we could channel extraterrestrial, and one of my guides is Indigo, who I channel.
Is that an extraterrestrial?
He's from Arcturus.
Yeah,
he's
Arcturian. Sure that I am definitely channeling extraterrestrial.
And that's how he comes through as alien. Now, I do have a story where my cards came from. I was in Ocala where I was at a Native American powwow, and a woman came up to me and said, I needed to talk to you. And I didn't know why. She was from Ireland. And she says, I don't know why I had to be here and meet you. Then she got to know me about my channeling and stuff. And then she started to share with me. She said, if I could trust and believe in her, that I will be on. At this time, I was just learning how to channel. I wasn't doing any medium work. I wasn't doing anything. I was just curious. I wanted to go to a Native American powwow. That's what I wanted to do. I was going through divorce at the time. I remember just trying to get away from out of town. She told me that if I could trust her and believe her and everything, that I would be a medium, a healer. I'll be on TV. I'll be doing this work professionally. Then she told me that she was extraterrestrial, that she was Fijians. She started telling me about who the Fijians are, part of the Christ consciousness. She said, if I could trust her, she said, lay on the ground. She hovered her hands above me. They felt like radiant heat coming out. And as she did that, I could see a mist of smoke in my third eye as I saw the Fijians and what they looked like, how she described them. Long jet black hair, deer-like eyes, 8 feet tall. And they began to speak through her voice to me, telling me about my life, my venture. And what they did is they infused me with my missing spiritual DNA codes. They said that it's the codes that God intended me to be. And then she drew out these symbols for me that I have on cards. And she also drew on a piece of paper, my missing codes. She said, protect this piece of paper. Do not show anyone. This is what God created you with. So I got it in my safe now on there. And she said, by getting my codes, I'm going to enhance, my channeling ability is going to enhance. I'm going to be a medium. I'm going to be a healer. I'm going to be all that. All that started to unfold. In my book, the first one is There More to Life Than What We Know. You can tell by chapter 1 to 4 is when I'm starting to learn. And then chapter 5 is when I met Debbie, the extraterrestrial. And then chapter 6 on, it's like I went to kindergarten to college, how the writing has changed. And that was my extraterrestrial experience. And she's nowhere to be found. I wanted to ask her about the cards and stuff like that. And I can't find her. And no one knows where she went. She just disappeared. And she was unusual looking to begin with, too. She just had a weird look to her, too, when I met her. It was just, I couldn't put my finger on it. But she changed my life. And that was my first ET. Other ETs is when I travel, like when I go to, when I went to Peru and Lake Titicaca, I got to stay with the natives there on their island. And they took me, the guy took me to the lake, and I got to sit there and I got to see blue orbs taking off on the water. And they're extraterrestrial. And Mexico.
A lot about those, actually.
And this is in my third book I'm writing about. In Mexico, I got to visit a crater where a meteor hit. And there's like a pond water that turns red. And the guide was telling me that there's an extraterrestrial colony underneath the puddle. And I got to learn about that.
I heard so much about that too. About that. We gotta have a whole conversation.
Yeah. So that's all in my new book. That I'm writing.
Well, then we'll have another conversation.
It's gonna be all about my travelings and stuff. Yeah. So so you wanted to talk extraterrestrials. There's my
all right, I gotta tell my story because I just gotta say it since you said yours. I can't say it if you're not there and you didn't just say yours because then people are really gonna think I'm crazy. So I gotta pipe my story in there now, so it's out there.
Okay.
So I was in a pretty amazing vibrational state in one of my higher, I was in a good place. And I went to sleep and I woke up in a ship, straight up ship. And it was glass windows everywhere from the floor all the way to the ceiling. And you knew you were in a ship. I mean, it looked like a ship like in the freaking movies or something with like things around it. And I could see Earth from the ship. And, I don't know where I'm at for a second. So I'm getting my bearings. I know I'm staring at the Earth. I'm staring at these little controls and the glass. And I look down because I'm way too afraid to look up. And I see these beings that are clear. They are see-through clear beings that are very, very tall and you could see their veins, like you can see my veins, but you could see through them and the electrical impulses, like our body, I guess, has electrical impulses and stuff. I think it does. Mm-hmm. And you could see through them, all of them. And I remember looking at the feet and I'm looking here and I'm looking there and I'm looking there and I'm looking there. And in my head, I said, should I be afraid right now? And I heard telepathically, no. And it was so calm, no. We wish you no harm. We are the custodians of the earth. And they actually reached their hand down, and I'm not going to say exactly what they did, but they manipulated a few things around the earth to show me that they could do that. And they said, we take no pride or pleasure in any of this, but this is who we are and what we do. I don't know what their names are, but they look just like the people on the back of your cards. And I'm not the only one who's seen them because they're floating around the internet. So I'm not the only one. I don't even know what their names are, but
the Arcturians could be a little translucent too. They're the guardians of the galaxy, the Arcturians, but they could be in other beings and they're translucent. But
yeah, and they're on the internet. I've seen them.
Yeah.
So here's my alien story, and then that's it. I remember turning around. I remember there was a couple of next to me. I remember turning around, and they ended bringing me to the back of the ship. But I just have that idea.
Okay.
Are we glitching on our sound?
No, we're good. Did I glitch out for a minute? Okay.
Debbie?
We're good.
Debbie? Can everyone else hear the glitch, or is it just me that it doesn't bother me?
I think it's you.
Oh, we're good? Okay, perfect. All right, let's get our readings. Who do we have left to read? I see Kim and Mia, I believe. So let's bring Kim and Mia, and then there's a couple others down there. I don't see their names. So I'll let Debbie pull them. We'll do our readings, and then I'll do my little wrap up. Ooh, and I see Tanya just text something. So Tanya says, I need a teacher to explain why I feel people's moods and how they feel hurt when I'm hurt. I love that question. I love it. I love these questions. Thank you for sharing them. So Tanya, real quick before we get to Mia, that means that you are an empath and you basically are like a radio receiver and you are affected by everyone's energies that are around you. So what happens is, Tanya, is we're not aware that we're an empath and a light worker, and we don't have the proper protective measures to protect ourselves from everyone else's energies, then we're like an emotional shitstorm, for lack of a better human word. With this person's upset, and then you get upset. This person's nervous, and you get nervous. So what you want to do is know that this is happening, Tanya, and remind yourself, this is not my energy. This is not my energy. This does not belong to me. The second you start feeling that weird, that pressure, that uncomfortable feeling. And if you need any other advice. Oh, she said, no one can hear you. No, I can hear you. What did she say?
Yeah, you're fine. We hear you fine.
Debbie's saying, no, I'm good. Just give me a thumbs up.
You're good.
Okay. Oh, because she's in another chat room. Okay, perfect. That's all. She'll receive it later. Okay, Mia.
Hey.
Hi, Mia. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Did you put makeup on for me?
I did.
I appreciate that. If it matters, I really, really do. And don't you feel pretty right now? Like, I just want people to feel pretty. Just feel pretty. So, Mia, are you familiar with me and Joseph? I don't think I know you, or maybe I do know you.
You know her father personally, I think.
Yeah, my dad is flirting with you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, that was such a good story.
And Joseph, you were saying, like a cough or couldn't breathe or something. That I talked to my aunt, and you're talking about roses. I talked to my aunt, my dad's younger sister, and she said the COPD, the cough, was their grandfather, and he passed before I was born. And then the roses, she said their grandmother had beautiful rose gardens. So.
All right, so we started to bring the family members. That's what happens. I go up a generation and start to bring them through. So, and then Kristen hijacked your father from me.
Yeah, well, I got to tell the story because it's a good one. So, my mediumship abilities are relatively new. And, I usually leave it to Joseph. But I'm sitting here and as I'm just minding my own business, I see this very good looking man like coming up to me and he's like, hey, how you doing? Like, and I know those cute guys when they flirt, and he's just flirting. He's kind of looking at me like, and I wasn't going to say anything because, Mia, that's weird to be like, hi, is your dad flirting with me? Like, that's such a weird thing to say. But finally, he was so persistent about it, really, really persistent. And he kept kind of showing me, and I know that we talked about this, he kept showing me this, and he's showing me his hair, and he's showing me, I don't know if he had jeans on but he liked these like belt buckles, and he's just showing me how cool he was. And I guess she said that her father was like that, and there was a picture of him, and he showed me himself in a picture with, I think it was a car. I saw a car. I don't know what was actually in the picture, but
yeah,
and you saw the picture, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I know what picture you're talking about.
Yeah.
And my mom, when she listened, everybody knew what picture you were talking about.
That's awesome, because you know what? That doesn't happen to me that often. So, and he was very strong. So I just want to let you know, he was very strong. And I actually thanked him for that afterwards. He stayed with me for a little bit. And I just thanked him because that was really a good communication. And he was also gentle with me, meaning that he knew that if he could get me to say it, that I'd be validated, because this is new for me. So if I'm wrong, I might just never do it again. But so he was good. And he was a strong guy, right? He was like the man of the house or something.
He was my dad was 6'6". He was a big guy. Yeah.
All right. He seems like a presence, like a real force to him. Like he was, I'm more submissive. So he was more controlling than I was. He was like, you need to say this. This is how you say it. This is what it looks like. This is what you have to do. And I was like, yes, sir.
He probably was that way with relationships. That's why me and him we would butt heads a lot.
Yeah, I'm a little more submissive in relationships. He was like one of the guys I would date. Like, oh, hey, you're tough and controlling. Hi, my name's Kristen. Nice to meet you. On a personal level. Okay, Mia. So, do you want me to read for you?
Yes.
Or do you want to hear from?
I don't hear from you.
Okay. All right, so you have some decisions to make. And sometimes those can always be tough because they can maybe mean some change. Or we're kind of facing a decision and you have probably some very good options on either one, but there's going to be like pros and cons. But I want to let you know that, first of all, I'm going to tell you that you do have the courage and the willpower to make these decisions. Okay. There's some disruption around this situation. So it's very important that you triumph over this and make that decision that needs to be made, because that disruption that's happening right now isn't healthy to dwell in that energy for too long. So wherever that disruption energy is coming from, and in my feeling, it could potentially be from an outside source. It could be inside of you. But a lot of times when I pull this disruption card, it's generally, I'll just call it an energy in the environment that's unhealthy. Okay. So
Yep.
when you make that choice to move forward, you're going to rejoice in celebration, and it's going to be worth every second of these changes and these movements that have to be done that we don't really want to do. Because a lot of times when I pull this willpower card, it's like hard. It's like a hard decision to make. And it's one that maybe is a lot easier to not make it, you know, but
Right.
this is pulling that it's important that you go ahead and make that decision. I do see a positive movement forward. So you're going to gain some power from this, which right now you may feel like a lack of power. Maybe you feel a little like maybe this isn't completely in your control, but I want to let you know it is. This is a positive movement forward. You're going to have to sacrifice some things. That just is what it is. So the sacrifice can be tough, but like I said, it changes. It's going to you're not going to have everything that you always had. So when we make these changes moving forward, things are going to be different. But I want to let you know that it's necessary to do. This is a necessary choice that's coming. Do you know what that could be pertaining to? Oh, wow.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I kind of think I know, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, I feel like maybe moving forward with this energy that's pulled, you may be a little more aware of some of the energies that are around you, the disruption energies. And moving forward, you're going to have those choices laid out for you. And just keep in mind, you're going to be faced with a decision. Okay. So the beautiful thing is that once this kind of decision gets made, you're going to have like major success. And I actually see that you have a lot of abilities to, and I don't mean to say this to everyone, but you're probably on this show because you know you have some kind of abilities in this area. So I do see that you could develop into an empath or into a light worker. You have some vibrational, you really have a lot of beautiful things to offer this world. You have a major destiny in front of you. You have gifts to give us, whether it's writing or something creative or something beautiful. And I feel like maybe what's happening is you're like comparing yourself to other things. Like, well, I'm not like that, or I can't do that, or I can't get that done because of this, or maybe I'm just not good enough. And you know what? That's not the truth, because, you know, daisies and lilies and roses are all freaking gorgeous. And even the roses that are yellow and white and blue are all beautiful. So you're just as beautiful as a yellow rose. You are, and just as unique and just as special and just as valuable. So no more comparing yourself to anyone else in your life. Let that go. That does not serve you at all. I would like you to look into some spiritual groups as well. If you could find some people that are like-minded that could support you in this growth and development of your spiritual side and getting that spiritual health up and running, you're going to find it's a lovely path to follow. It really is. It's everything you might be searching for in life, you're going to find right there.
Okay.
Any specific questions? Anything else you need answered?
What about love? Do you see love? No. What'd you say?
No. Okay, wait. I'm going to take that back.
I already know.
I'm going to take it back. So wait, I just pulled this card too for me. So it's not a bad card. What it means is that you're going to need to walk alone. You're going to need to fall in love with aloneness versus being lonely. I want you to fall in love with being alone. Find out what
I have been alone for 8 years.
Are you upset about that? Are you upset about it? Do you feel lonely?
No, I actually have not, but recently I started feeling lonely.
Okay. So I want you to, with this choosing and stop comparing and rejoicing, you have a little bit of a walk to go through. Did you go through some pain, some sorrow, some broken heart issues in the past and stuff so these things are affecting your move forward, that we haven't made, you're dwelling there. You're living with that sorrow still because it pulled up. So when we live with sorrow, we tend to shy away from things and we tend to isolate ourselves. So my feeling is that get onto a spiritual path, do some study, do some research, go to meetup, find like-minded people, get it all like good in here. That comparison needs to go. No more she's better than me. None of that. And then I promise you're going to meet someone, but you're going to meet the right person after you do that spiritual work to kind of clean up that energy right around you.
Yeah, it's okay. I know I'm going to be alone forever. It's okay.
I'm going to be alone forever too, if it matters to you.
Hey, listen, it's peaceful here.
I love
Lonely
it
at
too.
times, but it's peaceful.
I
Huh?
love it too. I don't threaten me with a good time. I pull the same aloneness card too, and I'm like, fine, I'm going to just digest that. But I know that this aloneness card means not alone forever. I'm going to love being alone, legitimately do my work, do what I need to do, and then the right person is going to come along. I know that, and I know that for you too. So you just got to put in the work, you know?
Yep.
Let go of some of that sorrow that you're holding on to and clean out that disruption that's in your life. Whatever, cut those ties, cut those cords, make those choices, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Let us know how you go. Thank you, Mia. Keep in touch.
You're
We'll see you
welcome.
Wednesday if you come.
Okay.
All right. Where are we at? I know I'm taking
Where-
too long with my readings.
Yeah.
I know.
It's okay.
I'm going to shrink them. I swear. I'm going to get better.
It's your show.
Shrink it, right? All right. Who do we have left? Because I want to make sure to get to everyone. And then I'll
Well,
wrap.
Kim Chancellor came on. I touched her father for a little bit. So maybe we can bring her in. There she is. Hey, Kim.
Oh, there she is.
So,
Oh, you got Kim Chance on. Go ahead then, Joseph. Do your thing.
do you have sound, Kim? No. Get you going and there's no sound.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
we heard you.
Okay. My granddaughter had to get me on and get me off of Facebook and get me on my phone so I could get on here.
There you go. That's it.
Wednesday nights I can do it. Tonight was just having a hard time.
Yeah, on Wednesday night Zoom, this is a little different on here. I'm learning the system though. I was going in through the back channels here, learning everything on StreamYard. I may switch up to this. I got to pick Debbie. I'm gonna pick Debbie's brain. Now I'm gonna have to call her.
First of all, I want to tell you guys are great. I love listening to you on Wednesdays. And like the other lady said, it is so comforting and healing and to watch other people heal and learn. And I have learned so much from Joseph that I would probably be a basket case, never to come out of my room if it wasn't for Joseph. Seriously.
Yay.
He has helped me learn how to be spiritual, which I never was before. I've read his books. I had to read them 2 and 3 times because I really didn't understand them the first time. It had to soak in. And they're wonderful, Joseph. But I read them again just so I understand. And I really want to learn more on how to talk to, my spirit guides. I'd like to connect more with my father who passed of a sudden heart attack, unexpected. He never got to say goodbye. He died in an ambulance on the way to the hospital. You know what I mean? And you know how close we were.
And he was a retired police officer too?
Yes, he was a police chief. Yes, and police officer. Yes. So when you were talking to her, I'm thinking all those things add up to my dad. And he was a very strong man. You know what I mean? Had a,
Well, he said it was somebody in the queue who is there because when it wasn't relating to Dina, they said, no, she's in the queue. She's in the queue. And that's why I put it out there. It's somebody in there. I couldn't
wave to tell you, I think that's my dad because everything you said was what happened. You know what I mean? He never got to say goodbye. He died at 46. So
I think he just needed to come to tell you that he's having a blast with your son. He never got to know him that well.
Did not.
And he just want to say that I'm having a blast with your son because they never got to know him. And he's so much like me, and he's teaching me how to fish better.
Oh, good. And my dad did like to fish, and Ryan fished better.
Yes, that's what he said. He's teaching me how to fish better.
Yes.
So,
yes.
and he just wants to let you do that. So
I
thank you
so
for giving me the honor to bring that loving bridge to Ryan. And I know you have gone back many years, few years now, when you first saw me at Renegades,
Yes.
and had me at your house, and
Mm-hmm.
then
Renegades
Robin,
a couple times, and Robin's, yes.
and then
Been
Robin
here-
lost
I've
her
been to
daughter.
your office.
Yep, you
Yes.
have been. So you need to come to you've been to my workshop, Contacting Angels and Spirit
I
Guides?
came to the one a month ago, Robin and I did, when you did the sign, the one where
Medium-
you were, yes.
Mediumship mentoring?
Yes, I came to that, but we couldn't come this past weekend. I want to come to when you do
Okay.
a spirit guides. It's just, it's sort of hectic with the kids here and everything, and they've got stuff, but
Now you went to the seance too,
yes,
didn't you?
I did. I loved it. That was great.
Yeah, Christine saw her first one last week.
Yes, I saw her. I heard her talk about it.
Kristen, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Kristen.
It's fine. There's a Christine. I go by Christine as well. Not that I want to,
Yes.
but my whole
I
life.
gotta
I've called
Well,
Christine.
Christine's been on the show with me for like 8 months, and now I
Yes.
got to switch over, and that's
Yes,
why.
and she
then,
was there that night with us.
Christine was there that
Yes.
night too,
Yes.
and everything.
Was an amazing show, Joseph. Just amazing show.
Did you get to see faces and everything?
Yes, we did. We saw the stars. We saw the lights.
I saw
We
the stars
your
too.
ear.
I saw the
You
stars.
You did? Yes.
And
Yes,
I saw
we
the
did.
faces coming out of his
Yes.
face like, whoa. I'm like, what was that?
Yes.
And there were stars above your head. Did you see
Yes.
stars above his head?
Yes. Yes.
I did
yes.
too. What the heck?
You know
Uh-huh.
what? It was amazing. I wish I could have come.
Like
to
it looks like the entire galaxy of like
Yeah,
space
did.
floating
And it was
above
nothing
your head.
but black.
What we're talking about, for those who are tuning in, I do a transfiguration seance where the room is completely black. I'm dressed in black, and I have cast a red light on my face only, and I go into trance, and I start to build ectoplasm around me, and then you see stars flashing in front of me. You see like little thunder clouds or galaxies above my head, and then
Yeah.
you see my faces change to different
does.
faces and
I've never
everything.
seen that before. I've never been to one of those. It's
Yeah, and I've never seen, what I saw is after I saw the clouds up there, then I started seeing them like change, like there's a disco strobe light, which there was no disco strobe light.
No, there wasn't.
And all I saw was the different colors, like from fuchsia to red to blue. I was so mesmerized by like what I'm seeing. You know, it was pretty awesome. For sure.
It was awesome, and I would love to come to more of his things if I could get free from work in that. But I'm going to come to the next one you have, especially.
Yeah, well, I'm going to also try to figure out a way that we can podcast it or stream it live so that people can, you know, come in and watch it afterwards too.
Right.
Kristen and I are going to do an all-day workshop too, where she's going to teach her stuff, and I'll go, she goes, I go, she goes too. So it'd be an all-day thing. That's what we're planning on doing.
That'd be wonderful.
Well, thank you for coming on, Kim.
All right, wait, Kim, I got a couple things to tell you. So it's so cool. I love pulling. You have such nice energy, Kim. Where are you? It's so lovely. Like it's just. So when you said you wanted to develop your spiritual gifts, again, I see that. You pulled. All right, so I'll let you know, you got a couple little things. Standing your ground. So there's a couple things that I want you to stick to your guns on. Don't give up, right? You're going to be like, this is how I feel. This is what's going to happen. And that's that, okay? Anything that you feel might be heavy and weighing on you, I want you to go ahead and give it to your guides. Give it to your guides. Give it to your guides. Do not try to handle everything all by yourself. You can't do that.
I do that. That's funny.
And you're not alone. You have a whole team of people, guides, angels, channels, aliens, all trying to help you out. So I just give it to them and believe it. I know they're there. I do. Oh, good, because they are there. I saw them. I didn't know they were there, but I met them, so I have to know at that point. So you have a lot of spiritual energy. I would really like to see you, develop it a little further. They're actually saying you have the potential for spiritual mastery. So I don't pull that card a lot, but that's of the highest vibrational energy. And basically right now the planet needs your energy. So, and we don't need anyone else's energy. I don't need you to heal the planet or anyone else. I only need you right now to just you, Kim, to heal that energy around you, to figure out what needs to be cleaned out and find that spiritual mastery, because the entire you'll join us in a light workers grid, and every time your vibration joins with my vibration, then we can elevate the whole vibrations of the planet. But we can only do that together as one. All right. And you have the ability and the power to do that. You're at the lifetime where if you wanted to become a spiritual teacher or share messages or write a book or just heal people, you have the abilities to do that. This is your lifetime right now.
I'd like to learn a lot.
All right. Well, just don't stop. I'm validating you right now. All you got to do is say, all right, guys, let's do it. Some crazy lady on the internet told me you're ready to talk to me.
I do talk to my spirit guides and ask, who are you? Can you say hello? Can you tell me how I talk to you? But I've never heard an answer.
Do you know why?
No.
I'm going to tell you why. Because you want to hear that answer. So you're looking for that answer. You're trying so hard to hear that answer when already you received that answer before you finished speaking to them. So that's what I've trained myself in listening. It's a listening skill. It's so quiet. It's like this. It's a baby whisper. It's a baby whisper. And they're never going to affect your free will. So they put their little hand on their shoulder and they say, maybe you may want to do this. And you're so busy like, how come I can't hear you? I want to know you. And they've already done spoke it to you. So you want to fine tune your listening. And then the most important thing is you have to trust the message. You have to trust it. The second it came in, that little intuition, that nudge, you acknowledge it and say, I know that was you. I know you just spoke to me. Thank you so much. I heard you. And as you begin to hear them and they begin to hear you, the messages become a lot stronger because you now are listening to them. And they just want to know that you have the ability to listen and that you're ready to listen. And then, trust me, right now where you're at, we'll just blow that lid open. I do see a really cool guy around you too, like a spiritual guy. So I don't know if you'll meet him, and if you know him, maybe he'll be a spiritual teacher, but you're gonna have a spiritual male energy into your life at some point.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for getting me.
All right. We'll see you Wednesday or next Monday. Either one.
Okay, I think it's wrap up time now.
All right. Okay. Let's wrap up time. Guys, if we did not get to you today, please send me an email or a message and I'll make sure that you get on next week, or I'll give you a special heads up on Wednesday's show if we did not get to you today. Okay, because it is wrap up time. Okay, so Joseph, let me just see. Oh, okay. I have a message. Okay, I have two messages. I have two questions for you. One,
people want to know if you can read me.
I know, but are you ready for that? Are you sure? It can be personal. I don't know.
Oh, no.
Should I? Oh, I don't know.
It's up to you. You can always call me. Okay.
All right. I'll read for you just because that's fun. And while I'm doing it, I would like to ask you my final two questions. One of which is, do you have any collective messages for us, anyone who can hear us, from our guides or from the planet, from our aliens, from those who want to communicate to us? Do you have any messages for us?
Yeah. 2020 is a time to reflect. It was a hard time for everybody. I call it 2020 clear vision. It's a learning lesson. So just take whatever happened in your life in 2020 as lessons. It's only here temporary. It's not for here forever. We have lost a lot from COVID too, from 2020. And just know that these loved ones that are passed over, they're still a part of our lives. They're still here. And it's hard for us to lose somebody during this time, but we're here for lessons. And it's a reason why something like this had to happen, but maybe one day we'll learn why the reason had to be. But just use this as a time of learning. There you go.
Okay. And then, I'll do your reading and then I'll ask you your last question. Okay. So of course I pull up this super cool dude. This is my favorite guy, by the way. And of course you pulled him up. I'm going to meet him. I can't, you're taken with lovely Ellie, and we're going to hear all about Ellie's cakes in a second. But this guy, I like him. He's just a good guy. So when I say there's a spiritual guy in your life, this is what he stands for. And guess what you also pulled? The Master card.
Okay.
So, I mean, thankfully.
So maybe it's a master guide coming into my life?
No, baby. You are the master guide. So you're channeling that energy from them onto the planet. So basically when we've learned to open our, move ourselves out of the way, and we're channeling source energy, that's what this card is, the mastery level, meaning we're just an open channel, for source to get onto the planet. Because that's what all light workers do, is they've learned to clear their energy enough that they're channeling the source vibrations, and the whole planet is going to elevate, which is what the warrior rainbows are, warriors of the rainbow. So we're going to talk about that in a second too. So I would just say that a lot of moves forward. And the only thing that I would say a little bit is be aware of influences in your life where this is right and that is wrong. That is good and that is bad. Sometimes when we have those polarizing, right and wrong, that can bring a little bit of stress into our lives. So that's all I have to say about that. So kind of be aware of wherever that energy is coming from. But all beautiful cards. This moment-to-moment awareness is my spiritual practice, my spiritual presence practice, which is, I live in this moment as often as I can. So I try not to get into my head and worry about what's happening next. I try not to worry about the stuff that's happening back then. And I just try to worry about where I'm at right now, which is, the wind is blowing, the birds are chirping, I'm staring at these beautiful people. I can smell my sage. And in the end, that's really the only moment that we have. That's the only thing that matters. Everything else is an illusion that we create in our mind. So, yay. Okay, last question that I have is, do you have any exciting upcoming news and events? And I want to know about Ellie's amazing cakes.
Gonna be a plug with Ellie's. Ellie's a great baker, and she's just making these fruit cakes for Christmas and stuff. And she volunteered me to help and sell them now. And I did all the advertising stuff, making flyers and making video banners for her and stuff like that. I'll have to send it to you on there.
I saw it. You did so good. That's so sweet of you to do that for her.
Okay. Yeah, I think I posted a little bit on Facebook for a little bit, and I took it off just to see how it looked. So,
I love it. I was going to share it. I think I did share it, actually.
Oh, okay. So
I thought it looked amazing.
I was wondering. I didn't think I told you that. I remember putting on Facebook. I forgot to take it off. I just wanted to show her how it looked on Facebook. For events coming up, it's very hard with COVID, so it's not like I'm traveling the country like I used to. And I want to. Once COVID is done, I want to hit the U.S. I want to start doing everything from I got a ton of new workshops. I got my transfiguration seances, not just the medium work that I do. My healing too. We didn't even cover what I do with the healing work that I do, but I've been doing incredible healing with people. And but just to keep track, I'm going to try to do I'm doing a virtual workshop for the first time in January through the Spirit University in Sarasota, but it's virtual. So we're going to see how that goes. I'll be teaching 2 workshops, mediumship mentoring, and then contacting angels and spirit guides. Then I'll be doing Speaking to Heaven Gallery in a Zoom-like gallery where we unhook all the mics, and healing, divine healing. So we're going to try all that virtual.
Oh,
but that's all that's new that's coming on. And then we have the show we do together on Wednesday, and that's something I like to give out. And I do that show to give free readings to help and just to, just to
give back.
Just to give back, and that's why I do the show every Wednesday. I have all this free time now. I'm not, so I'm not traveling as much. So, and now you got my big setup in the back here. So
how's the best way for us to contact you? Is it Facebook or?
On Facebook, or ourjourneyoflife.com is my website. My assistant Stacy or Emily, they both can help assist you, and then through Facebook, they're on there too. They can answer your questions, and I'm on Facebook a lot too.
All right, awesome. Yay. Okay, well, I have a couple stories, and then I'll let you guys go. Okay, so the first, let me see where. Oh wait, there was one question that I will speak very quickly about, but I think it was Iliana. It said, for what reason would one get the light worker call as a child, do the work, and yet feel something is holding them back from living their true potential? Love and light always. So what happens with that is, energetically, your environment probably has some lower vibrational energetic vibes that are affecting your channeling abilities. So If you feel that you're a light worker, you 100% are, but keep in mind there are other vibrational energies on the planet that, remember, if the light wins, I mean, then we have all light everywhere, rainbows and everything. So you'll find some polarizing energy. When you try to elevate, you're going to find polarizing energy pulling you back down. So you want to get rid of all that polarizing energy and stay with the light energy. So do your studies, do your research, find your meditations, read your books, stay with vibrationally aligned humans, and become the light worker you were meant to do. But sometimes that means making changes that may changes in our life that may be a little more difficult to clean it up. But that's how you kind of develop into those gifts. Okay, here we go. Okay, so Rainbow Warrior World News. So I'm saying this because everyone is making fun of me. They really are. Like, Rainbow Warriors, what is that? You know? Like I said, it's a prophecy. So I'm gonna read it to you. But I would love you guys to do your own research. But Warriors of the Rainbow, I'll read it real quick, is a prophecy told by many cultures, including the Cree, the Navajo, the Hopi, the Salish, the Zuni, the Cherokee, all related to the Rainbow Warriors. And in every one of the stories, they talk about good versus evil, but this time the good wins and the power of the rainbow people. And this is global, so many people know about this. There will come a day when people of all races, colors, and creeds will put aside their differences. They'll come together in love and heal the earth and her children. They will move over the earth like a great rainbow, bringing peace, understanding, and healing everywhere they go. The great spiritual teachers who walked the earth and taught the basics of the truths of the rainbow prophecy will return and walk amongst us once more, sharing their power and understanding with all. Men and women will be created equals, children will be safe, elders will be respected, and their wisdom will be sought out. And the whole human race will be called the people, and there will be no more war, sickness, or hunger. So that's why I am supporting, it's called One Tribe. There we go. That's going to be my new thing. I kind of like it. One Tribe. And I love you. I'm going to make a little thing. I love it because we're all in this together. Okay, so it's time for the Rainbow Warriors to make it happen. And the time is now. So, 5 or 10 years ago, we never talked about any of this stuff. We would never discuss this stuff out loud. And now it's become so mainstream and so amazing that we get to develop all these gifts and not seem totally crazy because we're not alone in hearing these messages. And that's just what this show is about, is for us to all realize that we are not alone, that, I'm not the only one who met aliens. Joseph did too, right? And we're all speaking to our channels and our guides. And, we all have these abilities. It's just a matter of whether you choose to develop them or not. Okay, so join the unity. If you have the urge to join the movement, feel proud and prophesize the good will win. And this was from Jenny Giovanetti from the Lakota Times, which is the Indian Times over there. Okay, so that's awesome. Okay, so my very last thing, two last things, and I'll make them quick. Number one, spiritual homework. Okay, so please, in this week, I would like you guys to just consider one word, and it's called expectations. I would like to know your relationship with expectations. How often do you allow expectations to ruin your day? So for example, you wake up, you bang your foot, you didn't expect to bang your foot, now you're upset, now you're crying, now you're angry, now you're mad that you banged your foot, and you're run downstairs and you drop your coffee and you didn't expect to drink your coffee, so now you're just super mad. So, we place a lot of expectations on our partners, like my partner should behave this way and they should be that way. And if they don't behave that way, you should see the punishment I'm going to dole out. Just make sure you're not doing that. We have a lot of expectations for people at work, and when they don't behave and those expectations are wrong at work, what kind of, what are they getting from you? So I just want to know what your relationship is with expectations and how that's affecting you in your lives. And I would love it if your spiritual practice could be just for the week. You can bring all your expectations back. If this doesn't work for you, try to let them go, like all of them. If you banged your toe, you banged your toe. If your coffee dropped, clean it up. If your boss is a jerk, he's a jerk. Your partner's your partner. Your body's your body. Don't put all those unneeded expectations like, how could you? Why don't you work out? Blah, blah, blah. That's not helping you. Let go of those expectations, all of them. All right, so that's my spiritual homework for the week. Last but not least, very, very last thing is bedtime stories with spirit. And this is for those of you who want to hang on. It's just a little story of my childhood when I was a little girl. And the story is called, well, it's about my mother because she saved my little sister from being killed. And it's a great story. So I'm going to say it real quick. I was about 7 years old and I'm in the kitchen with my mother home from school. I'm sitting on the kitchen counter and she's sitting on the kitchen counter. And our kitchen's in the back of the house, so nowhere near the front of the house. My little sister was about 5, I would say, or younger. Yeah, about 5. So I must have been 8. And she was misbehaving. So my mother put her for timeout on the front porch. So go sit on the front porch and timeout. I'm doing homework with Kristen. So we're sitting there and I'm talking homework. I mean, math is this and science is this. And my mom's talking. We're talking back and forth. And all of a sudden she goes like this. And I'm like, what? She jumps off the kitchen counter and runs the fastest I have ever seen anyone run in my life. And I'm running behind her like, oh my God, what's going on? She opens the door and screams, Taryn, stop. And I don't know what's happening. She didn't even see what was going on outside of the house. She just screamed it in a voice that I had never recognized. And as we open the door and we're assessing the situation, you see my little sister has about an arm's length away from getting snatched on a guy on a motorcycle who he almost had her. She was within one arm's length, one more step, and he would have had her. And he had said to her, have you found my puppy? And she's like, no. And he's like, well, come closer. This motorcycle's so loud, I can't hear you. Come closer. So she comes a little closer. And he's like, I can't hear you. Come a little closer. And this is all happening while we're in the back of the house. And my mother ran out there and one more step. And she would have been gone forever. So my mother did that. And it was someone, she said all she heard was someone screamed in her head, run. And that's what she did. And she ran out there and saved my little sister. My little sister would be gone right now if that hadn't happened. So thank you, Mom, for saving my little sister. Love you guys. Okay, so next week, I'm going to have Debbie Garcia on from Spirituality Gone Wild. She's our amazing host. She's behind the scenes, but she's pretty much one of the most rockin' females I've had the pleasure of meeting. And I can't wait to ask her all sorts of fun questions. The lady behind the mask. No, I don't know. We'll find out all her fun stories next week. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, please send messages, emails, get in touch with us somehow. We'll probably be looking for 4 or 5 people since we didn't get to everyone today. But we'll make sure that if you didn't get a reading, just let us know. All right. I think that's it. Did we wrap it up? All right. You know what? Look, I'm going to ding this. Hold on. Ready?
Well, let me just say thank you for having me on your first show, Kristen. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you. We'll see you Wednesday. All right, I'm going to ding this, guys. I love you. Thank you for coming. I'll see you Wednesday. Please come next Monday and let me know that you enjoyed this and give me some feedback. Be safe. Stay healthy. Meditate. Take your moments. Take care of yourself. Self-love. It's all about you. It's really, I promise you. I need your energy healthy because that's what we need to heal the planet is your healthy energy. You can't fix everybody else. You can only help yourself. Okay? All right. I love you guys. See you next week. Bye.